What's good, fam? Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about something that I'm not sure I've ever talked about on my channel, but I think it's an interesting topic and it's something that is important, something that you hear about a lot in the media. I thought I'd talk a little bit about Black Lives Matter today. And some of you might be surprised to hear this, but I actually am an advocate of Black Lives Matter. And before we get into the whole their activism and the way that they've kind of been hijacked by the broader black community. Ooh, that sounded kind of bad, but it's just kind of true. It was kind of hijacked by the broader black and leftist community. The term, the phrase Black Lives Matter was hijacked. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about a little bit about how Black Lives Matter came to be and the initial idea behind the organization. Black Lives Matter was created, at least to the best of my knowledge, Black Lives Matter was created to make people realize and advocate in favor of the media not being able to portray blacks as expendable thugs, as drug dealers, as gangsters. Black Lives Matter started as an organization that did not want blacks to be portrayed this way in the media. And that includes music, that includes the news, that includes movies and TV, it includes everything. When I say media, I'm talking about anything that you digest that isn't food, basically. And that's how it started. I saw a TED Talk X. I think that's what they call them, a TED Talk X about a year ago. And it was a white man talking about Black Lives Matter, and he had married a black woman, and he was very active in a black church, and everybody called him White Mike. I think, yeah, his name was White Mike. I'll try to remember to add that video in the description. But it's a very good TED Talk. I recommend it to everyone, and he's talking about how, yes, black people in America and all over the world are treated like expendable people. They're not treated like human beings. They're treated like crash test dummies in a lot of ways. I mean, just look at Africa. And whenever there's a new vaccine out, they always go to Africa and try it on people in Africa. Why is that? Because it could seriously hurt those people. It could harm those people. And if it happens in Africa, more people are going to be willing to brush it off. And we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be willing to brush that off. They're people. They're human beings, And it's just really frustrating to me to see the Black Lives Matter movement be kind of hijacked by, what's his face? Colin Kaepernick and all these people who are making it about the police. And sure, I'm not a big fan of the police. I've talked about not being a big fan of the police in the past on my channel. I'm not a huge fan. But that's not what Black Lives Matter started out as. And these protests that you're seeing right now, where people are looting and destroying cop cars and all that shit. I'm not advocating in favor of looting or stealing or vandalism. I'm not advocating in favor of vandalism unless you're like a graffiti artist. In that case, I will support you. But I do think that these people that are protesting are protesting for legit reasons. You know what I mean? I do think that we are always hearing about some black kid getting killed. And it's always like a 20-year-old kid or younger. And it has more to do with them being profiled than it does them committing a crime. I mean, what about this last dude that's in the news? What's his name? Like Gregory something. He was stopped for a forgery charge. Like, he had a warrant out for a forgery charge, and they fucking shot and killed that guy for a forgery. You know, that's disgusting. I hope those cops fry. I hope that they get life. If, you know, I hope they do. But, and I will say that I've seen some cops stepping forward with this newest case and saying, anybody, those cops need to go to prison, and anybody who was standing around watching and didn't step in, who are police officers, they also should be held accountable. And I've been very proud to see good cops stepping forward and, you know, and speaking out against this. Because it is a real problem. I don't care. I mean, I realize that most black murders are committed by black people. But as I've already mentioned, the original purpose of Black Lives Matter was to get the media to stop portraying black people as expendable thugs, as people who are just out to commit crimes and, you know, listen to rap music on the radio, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of good rap music. There's plenty of good hip-hop, the positive, healthy hip-hop. But then the shit that's on the radio that is mass-produced and, you know, sent out to people who can't afford to go and buy records, so they just listen to the radio all the time, are listening to, you know, this gangster shit. And if it's not gangster stuff, then it's always materialism. It's always Gucci, 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 Fendi, Fendi, Fendi. You know what I'm saying? It's never about being a good person. It's never about finishing school. It's never about, you know what I'm saying, eating well. It's never about your dog died. You know what I'm saying? And those are very real problems in black people's lives. Eating well, your dog died. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that plenty of black people could relate to. And if they can't relate to eating well, then maybe it being popular and hype, maybe that would inspire them to do so. I don't know. I'm not trying to convince rappers out there to make music about a healthy diet. But I think, I mean, that would be a lot better than making music about selling blow and shooting your cousins, you know? It's just So yes, I support Black Lives Matter. I know that plenty of people who watch my channel probably do not support Black Lives Matter. But I would challenge you, I would really challenge you to pick apart why are you against this? Is it because you think all lives matter? Which I think everybody agrees on. Black Lives Matter advocates will admit that all lives matter, but that's not the point. The whole thing is they're saying we need to focus on black lives right now because we're being portrayed as people that you can just shoot and, you know, forget about in a week. And, you know, it's just, that's the way it is, you know what I'm saying? It's also sad if a black guy kills another black guy over, you know, a drug deal or some shit like that. That guy's going to prison for the rest of his life, for at least 20 years. And, you know, he might have children. He's got a mother, I guarantee you he's got a mother. His mother is being left to mourn the death of her son, basically. I mean, he might not be dead, but he might as well be to her because he's in prison for the rest of his life. So, any way that you look at the problem of black people being murdered, any way that you look at that, I think the solution is to say that Black Lives Matter and that we're not going to put up with this bullshit that they're propagating. This gangster shit, you know what I'm saying? Fuck Lil Pump. I mean, the dude is kind of funny to watch, you know what I'm saying? Sticking Uzis in his mouth and shit. But, you know, don't support that with your money, you know what I'm saying? And, there's also the problem of, you know, like, half of black pregnancies in an abortion. Like, half of them. If not, like, 6 out of 10 black pregnancies in an abortion. Black Lives Matter, guys. That's all I have to say. Like, either you are with the shit or you are standing up for abortion, in my opinion. Maybe you're fine with that. That's cool. You know, I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you what I feel to be, you know, pretty basic, you know, I don't think you can really argue that if you are against abortion, then you should be for Black Lives Matter, because the majority of abortions in America are little black lives. And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Love you guys. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook. Peace.